What is up, YouTube? We are back with another lifting video. This is 2 weeks post 50-inch vertical touch, and I always feel the worst probably all year right after dunk camp. Just the adrenaline, the peaking for dunk camp, and then kind of the deload that you take as you go into it. It was probably a week and a half of not training hard at all, just so I could peak for that 50-inch vertical touch. And when you come back from that first week back from training is so difficult, both fitness wise and then also just motivation wise. I remember I watched this documentary about kind of Olympic gold medalist. I forgot what the name is. I'll probably put it up in the screen when I find it. But in this documentary, it basically was talking about like the high levels of depression that Olympians face after they win a gold medal, because they're kind of training their entire lives for this one moment. And each Olympic lifting cycle is 4 years. So you're training all this time to peak for this one event. And when you achieve a gold medal, let's say it takes you 2 Olympic cycles to achieve it. When you achieve it, they have this moment of like, okay, now what? And there's actually a lot of levels of people unliving themselves. I'm not sure if I can say the actual word on YouTube, but they have really high rates of like unliving themselves, really high rates of depression right after that Olympic gold medal. And in a much smaller scale, a lot of kind of like dunking, jumping athletes or lifter, whatever it is that your fitness goals are, we face that at a very small scale. You know, when you achieve any kind of PR, let's say you've been trying to squat 315 for years, you finally get it, and there's that high that you experience when you're doing it, and then there's the now what feeling. And I've actually been doing a lot of research lately, and a lot of it is tied to like dopamine levels, but I used to get that a lot, especially doing like dunk competitions back in 2019. And something that helped me a lot is kind of moving away from being so goal oriented with my training and my jumping. Now goals are good to kind of set the path for where you want to go, but once I set my goals, I don't really think about them very often. And the one thing that I now live by is this mantra, this saying that I just literally tell myself every single day, and it's just show up. As long as you show up every single day and do what's on the paper, what you're supposed to do, that's all that matters. And just stay focused on that specific day. And if you want to focus on it even more, just stay focused on that specific set, that specific rep. That's all that matters. And then once you complete it, boom, you're done. You're done with the workout. Do whatever it is you need to do for the rest of the day. And yeah, then the next day, just show up. And that also helps with kind of trying to get into the habit of showing up to the gym. But if there's one thing that I can attribute my success to in jumping higher, is that I just focused on showing up, even through all the injuries. If I'm injured, it doesn't matter. Just show up, do what you can on that day, and stop worrying so much about goals. And when you hit them, enjoy the goal, but just show up the next day, man, and you're gonna keep progressing up. But now getting into the specifics of the video, the first thing that was shown in the video was a set of isometrics. Isometrics are really important if you want to get rid of knee pain. I keep getting requests to make a video on knee pain, and I'll probably have one specific video for that pretty soon. But for now, you have to understand, if you have knee pain, specifically tendinopathy, it's different if you have stuff like PFP or ligament issues like ACL, meniscus. If that's you, this doesn't apply to you. But if you have tendinopathy, right, like jumper's knee or Achilles tendinopathy, isometrics are one of the most important things that you can do. And I like to do them 3 to 5 sets of 45 seconds before every single workout. On days that I'm not lifting heavy, I'm doing them 3 times per day, and it can be as little as 3 sets or as much as 9 to 12 sets. And you kind of want to play around with what works for you specifically. And then after the isometrics, as you guys saw, I started getting into some dynamic flexibility And I like to do 3 of the exercises from that dynamic flexibility, and then a set of isos, and then 4 exercises from the dynamic flexibility, another set of isos, and I'll do 3 sets total of the isometrics. And that usually has me feeling pretty warm. Then I go into a barbell warm up, hitting front squats, back squats, hang cleans, snatches, and overhead squats. And that's basically all I do for my warm up. My warm up used to be a lot more intensive, but I cut back on the warm up just so I could have a higher quality lift. And yeah, I can have like higher levels of motivation to lift heavy. Then I got into power cleans with pauses. I've actually been focusing on clean pulls the last 2 weeks, mainly because I had sprained my wrist playing basketball about 2 months ago, and I was still facing issues up until last week, but now my wrist is finally healthy enough to clean heavy. And also, shortly after dunk camp, I got a tattoo on my left leg that says 50 to commemorate me achieving a 50-inch vertical, but that finally healed up. So yeah, I can start doing power cleans. And here I'm doing power cleans at 225 with a 3-second pause. And that felt the easiest it had ever felt as far as doing 225. So I was really happy with that. And because it was moving so easily, I was basically like, oh, I feel like I can PR my power clean today. My all-time PR is 285 pounds. I hit that back in December, so that was probably like 7 months ago. And I did 265. That felt super easy, so I just went straight to the 295 after that. And as you can see here, I was struggling. I have to kind of like analyze the technique for it, but I felt like I was catching it high enough, but the weight just moves me down. I guess it's too much like weight moving down that I can't handle it. I don't know. I have to analyze the technique and see what I can clean up for it. But yeah, super frustrated. So you can see here on my last attempt, I didn't even get it up. That was not programmed into my training. And there's something about me, and John, I'm sorry, John, that I do this so much, but I do go off the training quite frequently to hit weights that are not scheduled. So normally I'll have a specific workout. For example, today was 5 sets of 3 for power clean. Felt good, so I just went super heavy at the end, tried to max out, which wasn't in the training. But I've always kind of been like that. I also understand my body and what I can or can't do at this point that's gonna hurt me. So I'm never gonna go off the plan to the point where I get injured. And I learned that by going off the plan and getting injured a lot. So yeah, be disciplined, learn your body first. And for the guys that are on THP, I get asked if there's a specific percentage, if you can go heavier. If you feel good and you are healthy, go ahead, go heavier, keep pushing yourself. That's one of the reasons I progress a lot, is because I'm continually pushing myself in the weight room. After the cleans, I went and did reverse lunges. I've been doing these reverse lunges for about, I think this is week 3. And it's been feeling really, really good. I have not done a lot of unilateral work in the past. I know a lot of jumps coaches, online trainers out there like live and die by the unilateral work. They say it's a lot better for like basketball players because it's not as much range of motion. The technique is easier. You can bias, you can see which legs have biases or which leg is stronger and have imbalances, and you can address those imbalances. The reason we do so much like bilateral work at THP is simply because you can load it up way heavier. Like even in these lunges, you're gonna see I work up all the way to 315, and it felt really hard. Balance was a big issue I was running into, but I still have way more left in the tank. And you kind of start running into like problems with balance and technique before you ever kind of max out what your legs are capable of, which is not the case for bilateral work. It's a lot safer to load it up like heavy and actually push your body to the limits, which is what's required if you want to become a better athlete and actually jump higher. You have to be pushing what your body is capable of through a proper progression. So that's like a short answer of why we prefer bilateral work. Having said that, doesn't mean that we don't do any unilateral work. And it's something that I did want to work on because I've never really worked on it too much. It's good for variety, and hopefully I can get some adaptations for it. And as you can see here, I lost my balance a little bit. I loaded up to 275. This was my top set. I was supposed to go for 6 reps, but I just didn't feel safe going for a 6th attempt. So I just did 5 reps with each leg. And this has been feeling amazing. If you watch my 45 to 50 inch vertical video, you know that I had issues with tendinopathy at my greater trochanter. That's in the hip area, for those of you that don't know what bone that is. And when I started doing these 3 weeks ago, I was doing 135, feeling probably like a 3 in pain. Today I built up to 275 on my top set and felt about a 3 pain, which is a tremendous amount of progress. And don't ask me why I decided to do this, but I wanted to see if I could reverse lunge 315. So I put 295 on the bar here, did 1 rep each leg. That felt really easy, so I decided to load up 315 on the bar and hit that for 1 rep with each leg. So really cool that I was able to do that. Kind of a ego lift. Again, more things that you shouldn't do. Stick to the plan. But yeah, really happy with how my unilateral work is progressing. And then here I am doing glute ham raise, and these have been getting a lot stronger for me. I'm using a 25-pound plate. My technique isn't as strict as it used to be. I used to really focus on not hinging at the hips at all, fully extending at the knee, but I was getting like a little bit of pain in my popliteus muscle right behind the knee. It just didn't feel good, so I decided to just hinge a little bit more at the knee and at the hip, and it felt way better. I got a crazy pump at the hamstrings, and then I actually built up to using 45s, so that was definitely the strongest I've ever been with this movement. Overall, really happy with how the training went. As always, guys, go to THPstrength.com if you want to get coached by me and John Evans personally to jump higher. If you sign up for training only, you'll get a customized plan specific for you. And then if you click on the full service tab, you can see the benefits of that. Other than that, guys, like the video, comment, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.